All right, so this is my second part to questions about residency that you should know from a family medicine perspective, of course, because that's what I did. Looking back at my last video, there are a few things I did not mention that I wanted to talk about, at least, that are extremely important as well. So the first one was when I was talking about your hospital experience in the ICU and open ICUs and closed ICUs. That's important. Now, you just know you have to have 15 ICU encounters, or at least that's what it was when I graduated residency. So 15 is all you need. I usually do a month rotation of ICU and closed ICU type residencies where you're not doing ICU in your hospital service. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was obstetrics. This is an important one for me. Depending on your interest, I wanted to be able to have a strong foundation in obstetrics because, as you can see, probably by my wall, global health, medical missions is really important to me. And sometimes you do have to deliver a baby in the middle of nowhere, God forbid. And so I think it's important to have that knowledge base. Now, it does require quite a bit to keep up your malpractice for OB in the United States, and I just wasn't really interested in that, so I'm not practicing obstetrics right now, but it is a tool set that I wanted to have a strong foundation in moving forward. I thought I might want to pursue a FMOB fellowship after residency, so just remember every residency is going to have a different level of obstetrics. The first residency I went to, I was with an OBGYN team during my OB rotations, and it was only 2 months. And I really did a lot of postpartum, but I didn't do a whole lot more than that. Versus my second residency, we did close to greater than 70 deliveries, just being there for a year. And we also got to first assist on C-section sometimes. And so that was very important for me. I was in like the hub of preeclampsia, so we got to treat a lot of really high risk patients. And I really enjoyed that part of my residency, to just keep that in mind. So every single program is going to have different strengths, and so what I'm trying to get at here is to look at each program and figure out what makes them unique, and that's going to also help you during your interview process, is finding out what makes them unique. Another one that's important is a lot of family medicine has fellowships, and so is there a fellowship at that residency that you can kind of make your way into as you graduate that's really helpful as well, if that's there already and in place? So it's important to see if they have fellowships that are associated with it that you're able to kind of step into as you graduate, but also important things to think about. One of the biggest, and when I was going through residency, was the environment of the residency. Is it a toxic environment, or is it a very healthy way to grow and a safe environment to grow and to learn? Because that's really what residency is for. If you knew everything, you wouldn't need residency. So this can be important to ask about the relationships. What is it like? What's the relationship like with the attendings and the residents? Is it a very strong pimping environment where you're constantly being put down? Or is it a healthy amount of questions to see where your knowledge is with a supportive background? What is it like with the other residents? If you call off and you're sick one day, what's the environment with the residents that are going to have to take over for you? What's it like to work with the other residents on the teams? Is it very collegial? I was very fortunate where I was. My first residency, the faculty were very supportive, and my second residency, the residents are very supportive. But the environments were completely different. And so I think it's hard to gauge that during interviews, but I think if you ask questions that isn't just tell me about the culture at your residency, but more of like, how do people interact? Do they go out? Do they visit? What do they do to support morale? How do you keep up morale when you're in a stressful residency? Has anybody left the program? Has anybody quit the program? And why? Those are all really important questions to ask moving forward. And so I know I'll come up with other questions you should ask going into residency selection and or interviews. But for now, that's where I'll stop it for today. I'm going to end on a quote like I always do. I always thought this is a good way of talking about culture. Always push through criticism and tension. So I had a tough time at my residency at some points, but I got through it, and I'd love to make a video about that, but I just want you to keep pushing forward and taking every experience as a learning one. All right. So keep pushing forward, and if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them. Please subscribe if you want me to keep making videos, and I will do so. Let me know if this is helpful or if there's anything you want me to talk more about. That'd be great. All right, you guys take care.